Well, greetings from Welch's, Oregon. Good afternoon. This is the first in a series of videos that I'm going to call A Walk with Nose Best, where we're going to talk about the nasal cycle and how you can return yourself to health. This video is going to last 15 minutes, and so let me talk about what I attempt to to accomplish here. First, I want you to understand what the nasal cycle is and why it's so important. And then I want you to understand how to optimize your nasal cycle and what nasal cycle optimization theory is. And then we're going to learn some techniques to actually do the nasal cycle optimization. And then we're actually going to hopefully crash our nasal cycle software and reboot it. One of the things that I'm doing, I'm walking right now, exercising and talking. And I've been talking most of the day. This is my side hustle. I'm working on some other projects. You can look it up. But talking is not good for your nasal cycle. Human beings are not designed to talk all the time. So that's something that can typically cause your nasal cycle to crash. So hopefully during this video, my nasal cycle will crash and we'll get a chance to reboot it. So here we go. A couple of housekeeping items too. This is not going to have any post-production, so there may be some gaps where I jump around. If you're a clinician, I encourage you to reach out to me. I've written a book, Nose Best. It's completed pretty much. It's got 102 citations in it. Chances are you may be one of the people that are cited. But give me a call. I'd love to send you an advance copy for your review. Also, I'm totally new to social media. So if you're an influencer and you understand this stuff, you see something I can do that's better, please reach out to me and be severely critical. Steel sharpens steel. And finally, if you're looking at this video expecting some medical advice, please don't do that. Seek a professional clinician. Your doctor, especially your specialist, your ENT, can really help you. And some of the things that may be wrong with you could be very serious. So it's really important to, especially when it has anything to do with the nose, boy, get ahead of it early. It could be just really life-saving for you. So let's talk about the nasal cycle. What is it? Well, most mammals, and indeed most humans, have a nasal cycle. It's a phenomenon whereby you tend to favor one side, one nostril over the other for breathing. Now, what I believe is more important than the breathing is the congestion period. So during the nasal cycle, what happens is you become congested on one side, and then about 10 times a day, it shifts over to the other side for, as Forrest Gump would say, for no particular reason, right? Well, I believe that is actually software. Your nose is comprised of literally trillions of cells, and they are smart, and they behave like a network of microprocessors. And so they actually react just like your keyboard to strokes. And those cells react to temperature, pressure, humidity, laminar flow, turbulent flow, chemicals like ketones, nitric oxide, copper peptides. And what happens is I believe there is software that drives this nasal cycle. And now, what is nasal cycle optimization? Well, that's just simply leaning into the nasal cycle. So I'm just getting a little huffy here because I'm moving. What that means is that I'm totally congested on one side and totally open on the other. Right now, I am breathing only through my right nostril. See, listen to this. And here I'm totally congested. Now, when I talk, I have to breathe through my mouth. And this is why talking is so bad. I mean, I was in security sales in 1980. I was the youngest stockbroker in Portland, Oregon. And I was talking all the time. Of course, I was miserable all the time with allergies, asthma, sleep apnea, couldn't sleep, horrible. I'd get up in the morning and just hit the alarm clock going, oh God, please give me another 6 minutes. That is gone. I mean, I got more energy than I ever had in my 20s. So anyway, back to nasal cycle optimization. When you optimize your nasal cycle, here's what I believe is happening. The congested side, when it suddenly shuts down after a period of breathing, it starts a cycle of deep biochemical cellular repair. When you're breathing through one nostril, the particles accelerate to the speed of a Category 5 hurricane, and they go past these turbinates. So it's rumored that that's the way Dyson thought of the vacuum cleaner. And the particles can't make the turn, the air can, but the G-forces are so tremendous at that speed that none of that stuff is supposed to make it through your lungs. Now, of course, when you're talking, you're breathing through your mouth, like I am right now. It's not good for my lungs. It's not good for my nose. In fact, I believe that is the biochemical signal that actually causes the nose to get congested. Now, some important terms. Congestion, that's when the tissues of your nose swell up. Obstruction is when you get something stuck in there, like too much, whatever, all that bad stuff, right? So anyway, constriction or obstruction is bad. Congestion is really good because when you start that congestion cycle, that causes this deep cellular repair. So if you're shut down really hard, you repair yourself faster than you can damage yourself, okay? So that's why we want to optimize our nasal cycle. Now, how does one optimize their nasal cycle? Obviously, it's probably something you've never heard of. I had not, and I researched it, couldn't find anything on it. As a matter of fact, most of what I found says you can't do that. Like that's like stopping your heartbeat, just thinking, oh, I want to turn my heart off for a while. You're not supposed to be doing that. And yet I figured out a way to do it. And that's a whole nother backstory, how I was able to figure that out. In the early 80s, I got to know Dr. John Epley, who invented the Epley maneuver. He's a really close friend. And so I studied the way he thought. And at the time, they thought he was a lunatic. Well, 11 years ago, I was literally dying of allergies and asthma. And I thought, oh my God, could there be something analogous to the Epley maneuver for the nose? And I found it. So here we go. So what we want to do is optimize our nasal cycle. So right now, I'm primarily breathing through this side. And I should have, right when I started, done a test. Like, listen to this. This is pretty shut down. You can hear I'm a little congested, right? So what I want to do is I want to open up this nostril. Don't worry about the one that's shutting down. It'll take care of itself. But to open the nostril up, there's signals you can do that actually will open up the nostril. So one of them is a sneeze. If you fake a sneeze only through one nostril, what that will do is that'll tend to cause the tissues between your nostril and your cartilage and your bone, that tissue in there, it'll cause it to shrink. That tissue is actually vascular tissue. What that means, it has a lot of blood vessels in it. And in fact, it's similar to sexual tissue. It can expand and contract quite dramatically at the cellular level in just a matter of a few seconds, or certainly less than a minute. So the key is getting those tissues to be erect on one side and flaccid on the other side, and then switch back and forth. So now, sure enough, my nasal cycle is crashing. Listen to this. I'm kind of breathing through both nostrils. Very bad, okay? We do not know how to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to reset. My nasal cycle, I think, is crashing as we speak. That's bad. That means that it's sort of both open, both closed, not knowing what to do. So one side is not in that deep cellular repair. And what happens is it's just kind of getting damaged and fix itself. No wonder I was sick. No wonder I couldn't sleep, was snoring, had sleep apnea, couldn't breathe through my nose, right? So let's fix this. So you can see I'm congested on both sides as planned, okay? So now, here's what we're gonna do. It's switched already. So I'm gonna open up this side, and what I do is I fake a sneeze. So here I go. This is a nasal cycle optimization technique, okay? And we'll talk about the theory in a minute here, why this works, okay? So here we go. Now, what I did is I just fake a sneeze. Your body, those cells, they can't tell the difference between a fake sneeze and a real sneeze. Those cells in your nose react to temperature and pressure. I gave it a sudden shot, and the reason I sniff, 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 I learned this from my golden retriever, Sandy. Whenever she's smelling, she's going sniff, 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 snort, sniff, 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 snort, sniff, 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 snort. I mean, what the heck? What's with all the theatrics? Where did she learn that? From her mother? Is it genetic, right? Well, what I determined is it's obvious to the dog, right? And so just like a bat doesn't need to know about echolocation, it just realized, hey, when I do this, there's that, and when I grab it, it's food, you know? So dogs and whatnot are smart. We aren't smart when it comes to our nose. So here I'm gonna now sniff down everything on this side. It's been about a minute, so here we go. Now that was, quote, productive. What that means is I was able to get a lot of stuff down. Now when I started, it was kind of dry and congested there. Now listen, totally open up. You do that 2 times, like I just did, that tends to really throw that side open. The other side, it throws down hard. And once you get this huge, optimization going, you repair on the congested side faster than you damage it on the other side with pollen. Like right now, here I am, it's January 12th in Oregon. There's mold all over the place. I'll walk by here in a minute. There was a huge landslide that came out, just took out 2 houses. I mean, that's Oregon. I mean, that stuff goes, and I mean, when I was a kid, it was just miserable living up here. I mean, one of the reasons I went skiing all the time is because I should sort of get away from it until the trees started blooming. Then I was sick when I was skiing, you know? So anyway, back to where we are. So we realized it crashed. We did an optimization technique, and it's working. Now here's the thing. If you're trying just what I was doing right now, chances are you wouldn't be able to pull it off. I'm pretty good at this, okay? Main thing is don't ever talk. Now a lot of people would be very happy if I stopped talking, actually. I think they'd be delighted, right? And chances are if you stop talking, people would be delighted with you too, right? But unfortunately, we have to do that. And so here's another trick I'm gonna show you. If you're in like tech support sales where you're talking all the time, the next best thing you can do instead of sneezing all the time, a fake sneeze through one's nostrils, take your fist like this and place it underneath the side that you want to congest. Now I'm actually backwards here. This is the side that's open. So I'm going to take my fist, I'm going to put it under what is my right arm right here, and that will congest this side. So if you're talking, fold your arms out. You can't really see it. I'm folding my arms, but have the one arm under your pit like a crutch. It's called the crutch maneuver. And what that will do is it'll tend to keep the one side congested. Congestion is your friend, right? When you are congested, severely congested, that means you're being repaired. Now, you can only do that for about 2.5 hours because the tissues are erect. It's kind of like having an erection. It says in the ads, if you have an erection lasting for 4 hours, see a doctor. Well, the same thing is true with your nose. As a matter of fact, those cells are very similar biologically. There's a known sexual dysfunction called honeymoon nose, where when you think about sex, you sneeze uncontrollably. Look it up, do your own research. It affects about 1 out of about 1,000 people. So anyway, in this video, what we talked about is what is the nasal cycle, how to optimize the nasal cycle. One of the techniques is to fake a sneeze through one side. The other is to put your hand, fist under an arm and act like you're on a crutch. Those are things that'll help you out. Once again, if you have a problem with your nose, please, please, please see a clinician. They are trained to understand serious things. Since these cells grow rapidly in your nose, That's why nasal cancers are so serious. You know, even if you have a nosebleed that's like getting a little bit better each day, or a little bit more, see a doctor. You could stop something that would be a minor procedure that if you let it go, it could get really worse. Well, anyway, there's a version 1, a walk with nose best, and that's like nose best, Nosebest. Good luck, my friends. I think this is so important. Um, you know, I want us all in America to be really healthy again. I really do. And I think this is the #1 thing we could do. Honestly, I think getting the nasal cycle going is more important than diet, exercise, sexual health, mental health, hydration, you name it. You got to breathe or you're going to die. So do it right. Nose best. Thanks.